Hey guys, today I want to talk about this belt and why I don't like it. See, when this belt first came out, I thought, cool. They cleaned it up, put the new logo on it from the scratch logo, and really clean design. But when the replicas came out, yeah, there is less metal in the main plate, so it makes it very light. The scratch logo had this big champion banner, which gave it some weight. We don't have that anymore. We have a bunch of cutouts that go right to leather. Never like that. I knew the belt had like a base plate with leather on it. Some overseas makers they tend not to accept that or know about that information. And if they made something close to the TV versions, they'd make some money. But they don't take advice. I had somebody try to make me one. I will talk about that in another video. There's a huge story behind that. It didn't work out well. But anyway, yeah, I bought this secondhand. The person who sold it to me, they lost all of the gel portions of the swoosh. So I was going to plan on rehabilitating this, but I never got around to it. Because when I bought this, I believe it was around 2017. Yeah. And I started asking around if people have made a base plate that would go underneath this to make it look more like the TV series. A couple of people have, at least in the following months after that, but they're so damn expensive. And I don't understand why a base plate would be that expensive. I thought maybe I'll just stick with this. And then they released that TV series belt for $5,000, and I thought, perfect. I'll try to get that. Sold out. And I was like, oh, okay. They only made like 3 of each, so like 6 total. And my heart sank. I'm like, okay, I can't have that. Then they released it on Shop. That went out, sold out quick. I'm like, okay, well, looks like they're producing these every year. Maybe I'll get lucky, try to get one. They released them, and a lot of people who had better access and better financial situation picked those up really quick. Those were all gone. And then I heard one more maker that I'm familiar with. He started making base plates, or at least upgrading replicas to look closer to what's on TV. And I thought, damn, okay, wait, I'll check them out. And I think on the website it was about maybe $2,200. I'm like, maybe I'll save up for that because it's better than $5,000. I know you won't get the same thickness, but at least it'll be on quality leather. Year or two passed by, because of, the world shutting down. When I was better financially set, I saw somebody who had one, and they're just reselling their version of it, made by this maker. I'll tell you about it in a sec. And I got my hands on it for a pretty good price. It's cheaper than what you would have got paying this person up front to get a brand new belt. I thought this guy took care of it secondhand. Why not? And that's this belt right here. So you can see there's a back plate under that, like the real belt has. It has a base plate. that the real belt has. And it also has correct sidebars, a base plate for the side plates. No logo because this person doesn't want to get sued, but he does amazing work. This is a full one-piece tip. Now, if you can't guess who this maker is by now, you're going to find out in a sec. There you go. Don't mind that. That's just printer ink. But yeah, it's crafted by Paul Martin, and everything you heard about his work is true. Very clean. Like the stamping on here looks like it's machine automated because it looks damn near perfect on everything. So when I got this belt, I was told it was a Elite Series belt. If you don't know what that is, the plates are replica plates with cubic zirconia, or actually not cubic, there are Swarovski crystals. I believe that's what these are. That's why they shine differently than cubic zirconia. So Swarovski crystals, and they say 24 karat plating. I don't know that to be true because when I stored mine incorrectly, I don't know if you can see it there are a bunch of pimples or dots. Kind of messed up the belt, but you know, you only see it up close. Far away it looks fine. Oh yeah, gotta show that tip some love. Look at that, one piece Paul Martin belts. See, what I liked about this and what made this more substantial than this very light, feels like a toy replica, was that. Never liked that. I had the big logo when it first came out, and they didn't have any of these tabs to keep the plates up. It sank in. They tried to include washers to keep it up, but it always sank into the very poor strap that it was on. And what Paul Martin did was he made a base plate for the side plates. And I don't know if you know this or seen WWE post videos about them switching out the side plates, but usually it looks like that. You know, minus the CNC markings and the 4 dots that are on the real belt. But always like that, it was complete. Feels like a, I don't know, feels very close to a real championship belt. I just love this thing. I don't have a place for it. That's why I have it stored, but I gotta put it somewhere else so it doesn't get even more damaged. There are some differences on here from the real belt. But I like how Paul tried to make it look just like the real belt. Now, if you look over here, you can see these dots that represent screw holes that would have been on the real belt. Now he put these faux cardboard inserts in here to make it look like it has screws. I only know that because you can look in here and not see any bolts. Also, I had an accident with this belt. I was wearing it out to a costume party, and I was just wearing it kind of tight, and I pulled on it, I had it on my stomach and I was kind of resting my hand on it, and the screw actually popped off on here. And I noticed that Paul only used the replica screws on the back of these. So he didn't account for the extra thickness the base plate was going to use, or it was going to weigh on the screws. So I had to take the backing off, and I went ahead and replaced all the screws holding the main plate on with slightly longer screws, and it turned out fine. Made it more strong. So if you do own this belt, just be sure to not put too much pressure on this, because it will pop off. But if you do what I did, it'll be fine. The real belt has Boston screws actually through the back. You can see them here. They're painted black, but I know they use that as a preventative measure. So in case they strip these Boston screws, they could just pop it out, put another one in, and it will hold the plates on. This one, Paul did it. He put it onto leather and then covered it with the backing, which I'm okay with, because it's not going to be used like that. It's only for display purposes, but I like that he used real leather on this. I've bought belts from other makers and they cheap on that stuff. They make, I don't know what kind of leather they use, but it's not that good. And on the back of this, they usually cheap out and use like a vinyl or a fake leather, and that just stiffens the belt up, and it just doesn't feel right. Now, this was the only option that was out at the time for a base plate. And that's until they released the WrestleMania 39 Golden title. It was that Snoop Dogg belt. It was the first replica to have the base plate on there, and it made a world of difference. So I waited, and they released that Undisputed belt, and they mentioned it was gonna have that. Well, they didn't mention it, but we all saw it on TV. They had that backing on it. And this is mine. And look at that base plate. I would have thought they would have cheaped out, put like a sticker back there on top of the strap, but they went ahead and they made a base plate. Now, if you compare the two, see if I could hold it up. Now, the Paul Martin base plate is just slightly thinner, but the Paul Martin belt definitely is heavier. Definitely heavier than the Undisputed belt. Oh yeah, definitely. But what would make this belt better is if they had a base plate on the side plates. And I think it'd be about the same as that belt. I did update the sidebars with fondue sidebars. Yeah. Anyway, if you see a Paul Martin belt out in the wild, I think I saw one for about $1,500. Somebody was selling. Real good price on it. Pick it up. Well worth it. It'll be like the best handcrafted leather you'll ever have your hands on. Now I have the later designed leather for the back of the plate. The original is slightly different. You can't really see it there, but it's very shallow. I did have a maker make me a replica of what the TV series is supposed to be, but it's damn heavy. I have it right here. Now I tooled the leather for the back. This is what the original release of this belt looked like, at least the leather tooling in the back. Now this is stacked like the version Roman held before they kind of thinned it out. It's supposed to replicate that thickness, but this thing was heavy when I got it. So I took this middle plate here and I kind of hollowed it out a bit. It did make it a little bit lighter, but this thing's too damn heavy. Yeah. I'll tell you about that maker later. I'll make a whole video about that. Yeah, this belt, mainly to focus on the Paul Martin upgrade to look like the TV series. Now, if you don't want to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on that belt, you could spend $1,500 on this and you'll be happy. You won't get that thickness that I know those belts are made of, and the realness and the actuality of it, but damn good option. Anyway, guys, I'll see you soon.